Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. The December 2nd battlefield underscores Russia's strategy of systemic attrition plus controlled territorial expansion. The liberation of hubs like Vovchansk and Krasnoarmeysk indicates the steady unraveling of Ukrainian defensive lines. Meanwhile, the repeated destruction of EW systems, radars, depots, and energy infrastructure points toward a deliberate winter campaign aimed at suffocating Ukrainian sustainment capacity. If current trends continue, Russia will enter early 2026 with a positional advantage, superior logistical coherence, and increased freedom of operational maneuver, while Ukraine will face shrinking reserves, longer supply lines, and reduced ability to launch counteroffensives.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel, before diving into the sectors, what stands out most about the December 2nd operational picture?
December 2nd reflects a continuation of Russia's broad operational design, a multifaceted pressure campaign combining territorial gains with systemic degradation of Ukrainian combat power. What stands out is not merely the liberation of Vovchansk or Krasnoarmeysk, though those are substantial. What matters equally is the cumulative pressure exerted on Ukraine's sensing, sustainment, and maneuver systems. We saw Russian forces striking across the depth of the battle space, everything from EW stations to Croatian, Swedish, and U.S. supplied systems, to ammunition and fuel depots, to energy and gas infrastructure supporting Ukrainian operational logistics. This tells us the Russians are preparing the conditions for winter attrition, constraining Ukraine's ability to resupply, redeploy, or recover.
Let's begin in the north. The big headline is the liberation of Vovchansk. What happened there?
The liberation of Vovchansk is significant because it sits on one of the key northern corridors into the Kharkiv region. Control of Vovchansk provides Russian forces with a logistical anchor and a forward staging zone from which to influence Ukrainian movement along the border belt. Additionally, actions near Vilcha and across the Sumy line, Alexivka, Andriivka, Verakino, Kondratovka, Konotop, Rizevka, Sadki, Kamino, show that Russia is steadily compressing Ukrainian maneuver space. What we're seeing is the systematic dismantling of the northern defensive arc. Ukrainian losses in personnel, vehicles, and artillery material reflect the costliness of their attempts to hold this corridor.
Some analysts argue this could foreshadow a deeper push into northeastern Ukraine. Do you see indicators of that?
We see a shaping operation rather than a sudden thrust. By securing Vovchansk and degrading nearby Ukrainian brigades, Russia is creating the conditions for mobility, not rushing into it. The timing will depend heavily on winter ground conditions, supply lines, and the depletion of Ukrainian reserves.
Moving west, the West grouping reported destroyed EW stations, HMWVs, and an MLRS system. What does this mean operationally?
This is one of the most revealing aspects of the day's report. Electronic warfare stations, counter-battery radars, and Western-provided mobility assets are the nervous system of Ukrainian command and control. Their loss is not simply tactical, it weakens Ukraine's ability to detect artillery fire, protect rear areas from drones, and synchronize brigade-level actions. The destruction of a Croatian-made RAK-SA-12 MLRS system indicates targeted counter-battery action. Coupled with ammunition depot losses, Russian forces are trying to collapse the fire support backbone of Ukraine's defensive posture in the Kharkiv-Donetsk transport corridor.
The southern group of forces improved its position near Kramatorsk and Slavyansk. What's the significance?
This sector anchors Ukrainian command infrastructure in the Donbass. When Russia defeats mechanized, mountain assault, and marine brigades here, especially near Zakotny, Konstantinovka, Kramatorsk, Seversk, and Slavyansk, It's applying pressure on Ukraine's ability to retain the Kramatorsk-Slavyansk hub. Russian forces also destroyed British Mastiff vehicles, an EW station, and multiple depots. These depots represent Ukraine's ability to mass ammunition for counterattacks, meaning Russia is not only gaining ground but also curtailing Ukraine's ability to respond.
The center sector saw one of the biggest developments, Krasnoarmeysk being fully liberated. What does that change?
Krasnoarmeysk, also called Pokrovsk in Ukrainian reporting, is a critical logistical and rail hub. Its liberation changes the geometry of the central Donbass battlefield. It opens new corridors for Russian maneuver and forces Ukraine to either redistribute reserves or risk cascading sector collapses. The fact that Russia engaged such a wide array of Ukrainian formations, mechanized brigades, airborne assault brigades, assault regiments, National Guard units, shows that Ukraine was forced to commit heterogeneous forces to hold the line. When a military begins mixing unit types to plug gaps, it reflects a shortage of rested, mission-fit formations. Losing nearly 500 personnel in this sector alone amplifies that strain.
In the east, Russia liberated Zeleny High and Dobropilya. How does this fit into the larger Zaporizhzhia picture?
Zaporizhzhia remains pivotal because it connects the central and southern axes. Gains around Huliapol, Zaliznik, and the liberation of Zeleny High and Dobropilya allow Russia to reposition artillery, extend UAV overwatch, and pressure the last remaining Ukrainian logistics arteries feeding their southern grouping. The destruction of a US-made M777 howitzer here is also meaningful. This is one of Ukraine's key precision fire systems. Its loss, combined with depot strikes, weakens Ukraine's defensive fortitude.
Finally, the Dnipro grouping struck Ukrainian units along the Zaporizhzhia-Kherson line. What were they trying to accomplish?
This grouping is focused on constricting Ukraine's riverine mobility. Operations around Magdalenivka, Novoboykovsk, and Nikolsky targeted mechanized, mountain assault, and coastal defense brigades. Destroying EW stations and multiple depots suggests an effort to sever Ukraine's ability to sustain operations on the river axis. The cumulative effect is Ukrainian isolation. Units operating along the river are being forced to function with reduced logistics and degraded communications.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that the December 2nd picture shows continued attritional degradation of Ukrainian EW, artillery, and logistics, critical systems for sustaining combat power. Territorial gains in Vovchansk, Krasnoarmeysk, and Zaporizhzhia strengthen Russian operational depth. The pattern of depot destruction and energy targeting indicates a strategic shaping effort for winter, aiming to limit Ukrainian mobility, replenishment, and command and control resilience.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.